Welcome to my Introduction to Networking course, typically abbreviated ITN. This will be for the CCNA version 7 curriculum. Hello and welcome. This is Packet Tracer, file 16.5.1, securing network devices. Alright, so one thing I want to point out. So I had an issue with this. So I was running version 8.2. This file would not load. I actually had to go download a previous version of Packet Tracer. It did not work with 7.3. It did not work with 8.1. It did work with 8.0. So if you are getting any error messages while opening this file, open it in 8.0. Alright, with that said, let's look at our requirements. So, securing network devices. To keep this activity brief and easy to manage, some security configurations have not been made. In other cases, security best practices have not been followed. You need to complete the addressing table with the missing information. We do not have the gateway details for switch 1, PC, laptop, or remote PC. That's step 1. Step 2, we need to configure iOS to stop trying to resolve mistyped commands, set up the appropriate host names, require newer passwords to be at least 10 characters in length, strong character passwords for the console, using that password. Ensure the console VTY session closes after 7 minutes. Strong encryption 10 character passwords for privileged exec mode. Banner. Encryption. User. Enabling SSH with that domain and that cryptography. Setting so that VTY only uses SSH. Setting the VTY should only use username and passwords. Impede brute force attempts by blocking login attempts for 45 seconds after 3 failed login seconds. And then configure the switch. So, I'm just going to keep these up here and I'm just going to work through them. The first one is address details. I want to look at my remote PC. My default gateway is 192.168.2.1. It does not say anything about switch 2, so ignoring switch 2. Switch 1, PC 1, and laptop, and the LAN interface for router A, which is gig 000. So that's the gateway address for switch 1, PC, and laptop. Just to confirm, ipconfig, and there it is. So, step 1, document the gateways. These 3 all have a gateway of 192.168.1.1. Remote PC has a gateway of 192.168.2.1. Alright, with that said, let's jump into the router A. Enable. I don't like this, so before I continue on, font. Alright, there it goes. Makes it a little bit easier to read. I went from my user exec mode, enable, to my exec mode. From there, I'm going to do a configure T. Step 1, no IP domain lookup. That prevents the unresolved mistyped commands, so that's done. Host name that matches the value in the address table. Host name RTR-A. Require newly created passwords be at least 10 characters. Alright, security. Password. Min length 10. Okay. Security. Password. Min length 10. Ambiguous, because when I did sec password min length 10, it did not know if sec was secure or security. Alright, that takes care of that. A strong 10-character password for the line console. So that means we need to get to the line console. Line con 0. From here we need to do password I copied and pasted it because I knew I was going to fat finger it. Ensure that the console and VTY sessions close after 7 minutes exactly. So exec timeout 7 space 0. That takes care of that. A strong encrypted 10-character password for our exec mode. Enable. Oh, I'm going to back out of my line console. Enable secret, and it doesn't have the password, so I'm going to reuse that at cons 1234 pound or 1234 bam. Alright, that takes care of that. A strong we've already done. Banner. So I'm going to copy the banner they want. Alright, banner MOTD star. Alright, that takes care of the banner. Remember, it could be any special character, but it has to start and end with the same special character. Password encryption for everything, so that would be service password encryption. Alright, that takes care of that. Now we need to do a username of netadmin. So username netadmin space password. Oh, we want it protected, so secret log admin exclamation point 9. Double check, make sure that's the correct one. The period at the end is just because it's the end of that sentence, so don't stress over that. Perfect. Now we need to enable SSH. So we do have a few more things we have to do. Ensure that the console and the VTY close after 7 seconds. Okay. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. Enable SSH. So to do that, we're going to set up our domain, IP domain name security.com. From there, we need to set up our crypto. So crypto question mark key question mark generate question mark. Double checking, it does not say the type of key. I'm going to do an RSA key space question mark. I want 1024. Alright, key has now been generated. What are we missing? VTY line should only use SSH. Alright, so line VTY 0 space 4. Alright, it did say exec timeout 7. We do want to do a transport input SSH. And line should use the username. So login local. Line should use the username and password that were configured for authentication logins. That's the login local. Alright, lastly, we want to block some login. So login block 45 attempts 3 within seconds 100. Alright, we set up our password encryption, we set up our minimal length, we set up the host name, we set up our blocking, we did our enable secret, we set up a user, we set up the domain lookups, we set up the domain name, the banner, we did the console 0 timeout, we did the line VTY 0 to 4, we generated the key. So if we do check results, everything on the router is good. So now let's move over to the switch. All switches, nope, just switch 1. Alright, all unused ports should be down. Get to our configuration, so from our user mode, enable, I think this is our privilege exec mode. We need to get to our global configuration. There we go. Alright, so we need int range. We want to turn off FA 0/1, comma, FA 0/3 through 24, comma, gig 0/2. Shut down. Oh, laptop is plugged into one of those. I'm going to zoom in. Alright, 2 is plugged in and 10 is plugged in, so interface FA 0/10, no shut. Alright, there it goes. Give that a second. I'm pausing to let the switch go through its learning process. We want to do step 3, bullet point 2. The SW1 default management interface should accept connections over the network using the information shown in the address table. Switch 1 SVI should be using 1.254. SVI is code for VLAN, switched virtual interface. So interface VLAN 1. I can spell VLAN 1. IP address 192.168.1.254. Subnet. No shut. Alright. We also, back out of that now, use the con password for our privileged exec mode. So enable secret. Oh, that was the chat or the banner. There's the password. Alright, enable secret is now done. Configure SSH the same way it was done on the router. Alright, so IP domain name security.com. Oh, crypto question mark key question mark generate question mark RSA. Oh, that's interesting. You'll notice it does not say configure, none of that. So host name SWTAC1 does not have us do that. It's not in the list, but oh, it was a graded activity, so that was a missing step for step 1, or for step 3. Alright, let's do that again. 1024. Alright, keys are good. So we've done host name, we've done domain name, we've done secret. Oh, we need to set up our user. Username. Net admin. Secret. Log admin. Alright, you'll notice here it does not have the period. Don't ask why. Alright, log admin. Alright, VTY should only accept connections over SSH. Should only allow network administrator with the switch management interface. And hosts on both LANs should be able to ping the switch management interface. So, line VTY 0 space 4 login local transport SSH transport input SSH hosts on both LANs should be able to ping the switch. So that really means we need to set a default gateway for the switch. So IP default gateway 192.168.1.1. Perfect. Let's go ahead. Completion 100. Check results. Everything is good. Alright, so questions, thoughts, issues, let me know. One thing that I thought was really interesting with this lab is this step, it doesn't really tell you, but you actually do have to do a host name before you're allowed to do this. So it wasn't in the steps per se, but you will definitely notice host name is a configured and scored item. So even though you don't have a step for it, you do have to do it. Questions, thoughts, issues, please let me know. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. Again, with this material, being able to ask questions and discuss some of the topics in the lecture help build long-term retention, so do not be afraid to communicate with this topic. Again, I'm here if you need anything. Thank you.